Hello and welcome to Clydebridge Station. Today I'm doing a model review. It's been a wee while since I've done one, and the model under review is this Bachmann Mk2A coach, which you can see is a corridor brake first, carrying Network South East livery. This was recently purchased at a local model shop in Kirkcaldy. The reason I've got a Network South East coach on the layout is that although this is a Scottish themed layout, by 1990 a couple of Network South East liveried coaches were operating in Scotland after the disbanding of a couple of local hauled NSC sets following the replacement of the cobbler sets. That was the Mark 1 and Mark 2 locomotive hauled sets that NSC ran between London, Euston and Northampton by class 321 electric multiple units. So this just simulates the movement of one of these north. Before I actually go into this coach and give my opinions on it, I'll try and give you a brief detail of the Mark 2A and of this particular coach. The Mark 2A is a pressure ventilated coach which was 24 feet long. The bogies it carried were B4 bogies and it had an ETH index of 4. ETH indexes are not necessarily important when you're doing model railways, but in the real world they were very important and indeed still are. Electric train heating equipped locomotives, both electric and diesel, would have an ETH index. For instance, the class 47s, this was 66, and the total value of the ETH throughout those coaches could not exceed that value. So if you had 20 of these, that would give you an ETH index of 80. That was too much for the local, so it had to be 66 or below the whole number. These were pressure ventilated and they're made in two batches, this one, and they had the code name AB1A bracket BFK, corridor brake first. This particular one was part of the second batch that was built at Derby in 1968 and sat 32 passengers in compartments. And it's actually the compartments that you see on this side, the corridor being on the other side. The coach that you see in the background on the regional railway set is actually a Mark 2C, AB1C. Virtually the same otherwise. These coaches were found initially on main duties throughout all parts of the country, but in the 1970s, with the coming of the Mark 3 coach and the high-speed train, they started to get relegated to secondary duties, and the roles were reduced also with the coming of the Mark 2Ds, which were air-conditioned, and which a clue to them being air-conditioned was that they didn't have the hopper vents on them. They found themselves relegated to some secondary roles, but at sectorisation, these coaches did find use with all three passenger carrying sectors. The one that you see here, 17097, was originally with the provincial sector at Cardiff Canton, but was later moved to Network South East. That move came about when the introduction of the class 155 sprinters meant that some Mark 2 and Mark 1 combinations of local haul trains on the provincial services network could be done away with. I would think that would have been some Cardiff to Weymouth duties. The coach would eventually get moved to Network South East, and later on, as you can see in this scenario, it moved to Scotland, although that's not necessarily how it actually finished it up. The Mark Mk2A was actually the first of the Mark IIs to be built, and as I say, they were built in lots at Derby works from 1968 onwards, and they were much, shall we say, more thicker design of coach compared to the Mark I coaches that had originally been used. When you look at Mark 1s and Mark 2s, the Mark 1s, the metalwork seems to be quite thin, whereas on the Mark 2s, you can see here, it does come out a bit more. Some of these coaches are still in use on preserved railways, but none of these particular coaches are now, as far as I'm aware, in use on the National Rail network. We'll get on to the coach in particular, and I mentioned to you about the Mark 2C with regional railways. That's a Hornby one, and we can actually use that to have an interesting contrast between the two as well, to show how much the tooling has gone on in recent years. Well, first of all, what I'm very impressed with is that the actual the design of the toilet window there with the little vents in it is correct, and it's got a grey, and the window is flush with the rest of the bodywork, which is absolutely correct. The compartment passenger windows are correct as well. The windows themselves go all the way along, and they're all flush with the bodywork, and they've also got the first class numbering in the windows as well as on the doors. Now that's correct for Network South East. One thing I notice as well on this is that the door handles, you can see there, are being picked out superbly by Bachmann in the silver colour, as they should be. And you'll see how much the tooling has gone on in recent years when I show you the Hornby one in a couple of minutes' time. We just move it along there. We have good detailing there, the lettering, and it has at the end there, load 3 tons, evenly distributed. The seats have been picked out in a dark brown as far as I can make out, and they do have the corridor connections. The other side of the coach is pretty much the same, save for obviously it being the corridor side, but everything else about it is just the same. Obviously there's no toilet window on the other side. There's good detailing on the coach ends. I'll actually show it from this end because it's easier, but you can see there is good detailing on the coach end here, which includes of course the coach lighting jumpers. And I notice here that the red flashes carry all the way around. That's the electrification flashes. The connecting doors are correctly picked out in a sort of grey-green livery. And it has on there the maximum speed of this coach, 100 miles per hour. Try doing that in a hurry. C1A, B1A has on it. So the detailing of it is very well. One thing that I do notice, I mentioned about some of the handles being picked out in silver. I did notice on here a couple of the handles, this one in particular, there's a bit of blue gone onto the silver handle there, but it looks to just be that handle that's had that. No other handles have been affected by that, so that's good work by Bachmann. One other thing to just mention to you as well is that the Network South East legend is correctly in the middle of the coach on this side, with it being next to the guard's compartment. On the other side, the Network South East branding is here and the number is down here, so that is correct as per that. It gives an interesting contrast to the Mk2C of Hornby Regional Railways, and this is a far older tooling, but it shows you just how much the development has come on, and that these windows are set right in, and all they've done basically there for the toilet isn't, there's a little bit of glass, but it's just more like a bit of painted plastic stuck in, so it's not even a window. It has guard on it, which is correct, but it doesn't have the load 3 tons evenly distributed on it, whereas that the NSC coach does. Now that's not these are not all criticisms of Hornby. You have to remember that these coaches were produced a long while before this one was produced. Technology's moved on, the toolings have moved on, but at the time these would not have been, well, they are still incorrect, but that was the best that Hornby could do at the time. One other thing I noticed with the NAC coach is that if I actually wheel it up to here and you'll contrast that with 47701, you'll notice that the different shade of the blue. Now, the Network South East Railway Society would be able to answer this, but I'll also check it out by looking at some videos on YouTube. I know that this loco is carrying NAC revised livery, and it was therefore a darker blue. I don't know if that actually extended to hauled coaches though. So that's something that I'll have to check out for you. So what's going to happen with this coach? Well, what I'm going to do with it is, at some point in the future, I will buy 2 more Bachmann coaches in blue-grey livery. And these will just be either Mark 1 or Mark 2 standard opens, and they'll be coupled to this, and this will form the first of 3 local trains that would shuttle between Clydebridge and Glasgow via East Kilbride or Motherwell, or head to Perth or to Falkirk Grahamston. So that's what this coach will be doing. It'll just be used on the internal Scottish services. The other thing I should point out as well about this is that the coach at the moment has got its couplers in both places. When I get the other 2 coaches, the rake will be interconnected between the 3 coaches using the pipe couplers, as per the case with that intercity rake there. But the outer ends of the rake will still have the NEM couplers, so they can be hauled by locos at all times. So I've not got any running shots of this coach for you, but that's the coach that I've got at the moment. It's the first and only NAC livery coach that will be on the layout, so it'll provide an interesting contrast with the other trains that I've got. Now, whilst we're here at the moment, it's worth me also mentioning to you that you have seen that some work being done on the depot area, but I'll come into more detail about that in the June update. This is not the time to go and do that. So, what's my marks out of 10 for this Bachmann coach? I'll say 9.5. All it lets it do is just a little colour spray onto that handle. And that's pretty much it. 9.5 out of 10. It's a very good effort by Bachmann. If you've got one, let us know your thoughts as well on it, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. So that ends this short video, and I hope to see you soon for the June update. In the meantime, please enjoy your model railways, and thank you very much for watching. Bye bye for now.